Hi, I'm Colin Chambers. I was Nelson Mandela's chaplain when he was imprisoned on Robben Island for a period of just over 8 years. When I arrived on the island, I was taken into a room in the prison, and this one man came up to me, shook my hand, and said, "The name's Mandela. You're very welcome. How was the sea? And how's your father?" And that was it. I knew the name Mandela. It was a name that was in certain quarters reviled in South Africa, and in other quarters revered. Very few people knew much about him except he'd been tried and sentenced to life imprisonment. But when you met the man, it's very hard to describe. Like a shiver down the back when he said the name's Mandela. You're meeting an icon in the world opinion, most of whom had never seen the man, didn't even know what he looked like. Nelson Mandela was one of those people that had a presence. If he came into the room, his presence would somehow be felt, very hard to describe, and that was the man Nelson Mandela, in prison and out of prison. I used to take a lot of these Bibles across there. What I'd get the prisoners to do was write their names in the back of the Bible, because there's always empty pages, and I got them to write their names down for me so I could remember them and how to pronounce them. It's a rather treasured Bible now, old and falling apart in places, but you can see on the fifth signature down is Nelson Mandela's signature. I was sharing on Joseph. Part of the story of Joseph was how that when he was released from prison, he became Prime Minister of Egypt under Pharaoh. I got into it and I thought, well, this is not the message to give to these guys. They're sitting here, probably never be released. Their burning desire would be to be in power, in control, and running the country. Especially Nelson Mandela, he was open about that. I chatted to him in his cell afterward, and I said to him, "Nelson, I apologize for being a bit insensitive, for talking about somebody coming out of prison and becoming a prime minister." And Nelson Mandela said, "No, not at all." He accepted that I wasn't being insensitive, and he said, "In fact, you give me hope." He had that expression, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Dismantling apartheid was impossible. But somehow he achieved that together with F.W. de Klerk. He said, resentment and bitterness is like you drinking poison and hoping it kills your enemy. Of course, it only destroys you. And he actually repeated that when he left his last prison, Victor Verster prison. He wrote down the night before he left, after 27 years, much of it in appalling conditions. He said, "I know that if I don't leave all my unforgiveness, resentment and bitterness behind, when I walk through those gates, I will be walking out of one prison, but into another prison, but one of my own making. So when I can't release others, I can't forgive, I can't let go of bitterness, I imprison myself," is what he was saying. Just maybe I was another brick in the wall on talking about forgiveness, and it makes me feel humbled, to be honest. And I look back and I've almost got to pinch myself, because not just me, I suppose in any story of a great thing of reconciliation, there's so many people behind the scenes that the deed wouldn't have happened if the people behind the scenes didn't play their God-given part in it. Because I didn't think he'd ever be released, and I wasn't doing it to have my name down in history. It's not down in history. I was a backroom boy. And yet somehow I think it played a part in the whole. And I say that humbly. I think I'll leave it at that.